Hello! Friends of mine asked me to do some videos on how I do gemstones and make jewelry. So first we're going to be washing some mine gravel. Now to do that we need a little bit of equipment. This here's the bucket I now use for the wash bucket. Was using a real little one, but boss let me have a display, so that's a lot more handy. Well, we need a screen. Now this is just a old wash tub like you'd get at the hospital that I put some screen material in, got it bolted on the side. Use the metal screen, not the nylon. Nylon will rip and you'll start losing stones. Now you want a little bottle. I got a 12-pack of these from Walmart. For when you're washing, you might spot one that you want to go ahead and pull out. This is a pair of diamond tweezers. They're like $6 from Rio Grande. And you can go online. They'll let you have 2 catalogs free a year. One's their gems and findings and the other's tools and equipment. I use them a lot. Then you're going to want a couple of buckets. One for the big pieces that you pull out as you're washing, and then a smaller one for the wet stuff after you wash it. And of course you're going to need a box of gravel. This is a box of gravel I've got from Gemmountain sapphire mine. It's real dirty. I'll go ahead and open that up so you can see. Give me just a second. It does come with instructions. There are instructions on how to clean, but I like mine better. It's a little easier. Now this is 25 pounds of gravel. When they're blasting and pulling stuff out, this is stuff that's not cost effective for them to go through. And as you can see, it's pretty much filthy. So I'm going to pause this while I fill my tank up, and then we'll get to washing. Alright, I've got it filling. I'm just filling it with the garden hose. Now the reason we're saving the larger ones, even though we're going through for sapphire, any of the heavier stones with good color, you know, like a very low quality corundum, which I'm going to have to send a lot of this in to a geologist and get him to identify it, so when I make jewelry out of it I can tell him exactly what it is. You always want to have it identified if you don't know for sure what it is yourself. But once this gets filled, we'll go ahead and start washing. Now I just use a regular plastic cup to scoop this out, and what I do is I go from the side. This stuff's actually dried out a little bit because I've had it here for a couple of days, but when I wash I do about half a cup, and once we get down to the last bit in this, I go ahead and pull the bag out, put the bag in my washer so I don't miss any of the sapphire. Now I have found up to 2-carat sapphires in here, which I'll show you those later. This is my 4th box from Gemmountain, and I'm pretty happy with them. Like I said, you know, there's a lot of other rock that I can use to make jewelry out of, stone jewelry. You don't want to use the lightweight stones because those are going to break. They're soft. The heavier stones are harder. And you know, the box here in the U.S., shipped anywhere in the U.S., it's $36. It's $22 plus $14 shipping. Now they also do international orders, and you have to call them to find out the shipping. But like I said, I like the stuff so far, And later on, when in the series, I'll be getting gravel from other mines to see how they are. I'd like to go to the mines myself, but at this moment I'm not able to. Alright, I'm going to pause this again while I wait for the bucket to... Well, I was gone a little bit longer than I expected. The neighbor's dog came through the fence for a visit. Something I forgot to show you guys. You need a drying rack, because after you wash them, they're wet and they're a pain to pick through. What I use is this old bed topper off a pickup, and it opens up and I can spread the sapphire out on it to dry out. Now, I've got the barrel full of water. Like I said, it's just a old pop display. You don't have to go expensive on this. I got a little scale to measure how many carats, and it only goes by, it starts at 1 carat and then goes by half carat increments. It was 35 bucks from Rio Grande, and it's, like I said, you don't need anything expensive. When I go to sell any of it, I'll use a better scale so I can know exactly how many carats I have. Alright, let's get this set up and start washing it. I grab about half a cup of the gravel. Let me adjust this. I only got a little tabletop holder. Now, put it down in the water. Like I said, this is harder than I normally work with because it's been set in a couple of days. But pour it on in to the screen, that way you don't lose any. Reach in there, break it up some so you can get the gravel going. And it's just basically going through. I use the side to side so it swirls a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit of water in my box. That way that other stuff will start loosening up some. And it's not going to hurt anything. Yeah, just take a little bit of the water when it's hard, and just go ahead and pour it on in there so the stuff will loosen up. This is mostly sand and dirt that's holding that together. You'll run into some that are like a concretion, like a ball of sand. We'll save those out for later, because when we have enough of those, we'll put them in an acid bath, and I use an acid I get at the pool shop. The reason we save all these other ones is, if you notice, that's a nice red color, and it's a very low quality corundum, which is what sapphire is. You know, you can't even, this isn't cabbing grade, or this is carving grade. And you know, carved corundums, after it's carved, maybe $10 a carat in weight. Whereas if we find any really good sapphires, a natural blue sapphire, good quality, you know, good clarity, very, you know, no inclusions, those things after they're cut can be worth up to $400 a carat. You know, I'm not so much doing this to get the sapphire as the other stone, because once you figure in the price, I'm getting it, $1.50 a pound, which is a real good price. Alright, I'm going to pause you because my company's getting ready to... And we're back. Now there's two motions I use on these. I use the side to side swirl, and I also use an up and down like this. What we're doing is we're getting everything in here to rub against itself, to rub the sand off and the dirt, because this is from where they've been working in the mine, and they just pull the gravel out of the floor. And like I said, it's not cost effective for them to go through and pick through it, but you know, you got some spare time, it's fine. You know, I'd either be doing this or I'd be upstairs playing games on the computer. Now this is one of the concretions I've been talking about that we're going to save, because when we run it through the acid, it'll go ahead and break apart and open up, because you don't know if there's something worthwhile in there or not. So we're just going to save those, and when we have enough, we'll go ahead and go through them. Now, you notice that's already a lot cleaner. You want it where you don't have any big clumps holding anything, and this is fine enough that you're not going to lose the little pieces, but all the sand will come out. Yeah. Already looking a lot cleaner. Now I'm going to take this, that's another concretion. You can see it's got something in it, but it might be a regular rock. But like I said, we'll just do an acid bath on that later and take care of it. Then I poured the wet stuff into another one. That way I can keep the stuff I've cleaned and get ready to dry it. Yeah, got me another scoop. Always put this in the water and then put the cup in to get it out. That way you don't leave anything in the cup. Now, since this stuff's hard, I'm going to put it down in the water, give it a little squeeze to break it up. And you're going to find twigs, which twigs you just take and throw them off to the side, because like I said, they just hauled this out of the mine. There's also these little blue plastic pieces where they put up their little bands around it. And when I order this, I usually have it within 3 days. About the third day after I order it, it comes into the post office. As you see, I'm just varying my motion. Yeah, I have bolts in here. Makes it easy when I need to change this. If you don't want to do bolts, you can trim this off short and then duct tape it, but I like the bolts because it's a little more secure. A little more work, but like I said, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be watching TV upstairs on the video games, or basically just goofing off. You know, I used to do jewelry for Wilkinson Jewelers in Pittsburgh, Kansas. He retired about 10 years ago, so I got out of it, and I'm getting back into it. I've got a bunch of machines I'll show you in a later video. I got them used, so I saved a lot of money. New for the rock saw, the trim saw, and the arbor, I would have paid $2,500 to $3,000. I got all three of those, plus a bunch of obsidian and agate for about $300. I just have to get the consumables, which are the belts for the drum and the oil for the saw. And those, like I know I'm plugging Rio Grande a lot, but they're my main supplier. I do buy some beads and stuff from Fire Mountain Gems, which every week I'm going to be doing a video, even if it's just making a piece of jewelry. You go to pull a big piece out, there's little gravel's going to want to hold on, so go ahead and dip it, and go ahead and toss it into your bucket for your big pieces. The big pieces of concretion, I'm going ahead and pulling out. As you're picking through it, you'll find the littler pieces, and every once in a while I'll spot a sapphire in here doing this, but not this time. It takes maybe an hour, hour and a half to do a box. And if your back gets hurting from bending over, I'm so damn tall that I have to bend over. And I don't have to. I do stand up straight at times too. But, you know, just take a break when you need to. I think I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and if I find anything in here, I'll go ahead and turn it on and show you. But I'll do that here after this bucket, because you never know. And I normally find a total weight of between 30 and 50 carats of sapphire. Now, usable will differ. You know, I'd say a half carat on up of a sapphire is usable, as in if you have a faceting it yourself. But under that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get those little glass bottles, and I'll fill it with the real little sapphire. Probably either give it a gift or maybe sell some on eBay. I don't know. For all I know, I'll just have them setting up on my shelf for 20 years. Like I said, we use these motions to get the rock to rub against itself. That'll help get that dirt off. There's a nice black stone, good weight. I'll run it through my trim saw later, you know, on another video, so we can see what it'll look like. If I go slow with my trim saw, it'll do a polished edge, so we can see how it'll polish. But once I have the arbor up and running, I could take a piece like this and just run it over the arbor to give an edge of polish, so we'd know if it's good enough to make a piece of jewelry out of. And you know, you never know. You know, the jewelry, best way to make it is to make it the way you want, the way you like. Because I do this to make myself happy. It's how I relax. And these stones, they look a lot different wet than they do dry. Wet, you can kind of get an idea of how it's going to polish up and what it's going to look like. Oh, and also, this is, like I said, this is the cheap one from Gemmountain, so it's not salted. Everything. Ooh, found a sapphire. And maybe a half a carat. Right there. So when I see them while I'm working on this, I'll go ahead and grab them and stick them in my box or jar. That way I don't lose them. I suggest if you're going to pull them out as you find them while you're washing, you know, you may find 2% while you're washing. I suggest you have a jar, because my cat lost a nice 2-carat one while I was drying. I set it to the side. The cat came across wanting attention, and when I moved her, that sapphire that I had set to the side was gone. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and finish processing this, and then we'll get on to the next part. Okay, I've done maybe a third of the box, which I'm draining because I need to replace the water, and you'll get to see how much sand is in there. That first sapphire we found is a nice blue, and then I found another one. First one's up. Okay. First one's that little one. was a nice blue. Then I found a green one, which that'll need heat treating, which I'll be doing a crucible furnace later on in the series, showing you how to build one. And to heat treat those, depends on the sapphire what color you're going for. It's time and heat. You can heat them up to 1800 degrees Celsius. I mean, you know, it'll be a forced air, propane. Another reason I like this is it has a drain on the side, which I'm going to go ahead because I only got like 8 minutes left on the charge on this. So I'll just dump that out in such a way to keep all the sand, so you can see how much sand is in there. And like I said, this is all just from a third of that box. It drains out. You can see we're getting some sand up in it. And there's a lot of sand comes out, and that's why we use a screen. Makes it easier. We don't have to pick through all that dirty stuff. Yeah, let's. Damn flies. Alright, that's the pile of sand from a third of it. I'm going to turn this off for a little bit so I can get the battery on the charger and finish everything else. And then okay, we're back. It's getting cloudy out, so I'm not going to dry those today. I'll do that later, but I wanted to show you a little bit of other stuff. When we go to pick, we'll need a light. This is the scale I bought from Rio Grande. It's a little $35 one. Like I said, it doesn't do fine, but it is accurate to the half carat. And these are some, those three are ones I've already picked from other bundles. Turn that on and count it down, and we'll get a total weight. Let's see. This one was the first box I did. Let's see what the total weight in carats is. It was 38 carats total. Some of those are too small to use. We'll go ahead and put those back. That's why I like this pair of tweezers. Got the diamond scoop on the back. Makes it a lot easier to get the stuff back into the bottles. That whining you hear in the background is my dog that's not happy that I'm ignoring her to do this. Let's see. The large one out of there weighs in at 2 carats. It's not a bad find right there. It's a greenish. It'll need heat treated, which I'll show you how to do that later on. The second one, total carat weight, was 26 carats. Had a nice pink one that was almost 1 carat. Pulled that one out. This one was actually a point off of one of the sapphire crystals. Wish I would have found the whole thing. It would have been nice. This is a ruby. Ruby and sapphire are actually the same stone. It's just if it's red, it's ruby. Any other color is sapphire. Oh, hold on. I think one's stuck in there. 26.5 carat. Yeah, 26.5 carat. Now the third box, there was a real nice one, almost 1 carat. Or no, I may have got these. Yeah, I think that was the third one I did that had the ruby in it. Anyway, I'm working on the fourth box. This is 3 box. There's 41.5 carats in that that I got out of that box. And a lot of 1 carat ones. But the green ones they all need acid wash because they still have like a glaze of dirt and all crystals like that. I'll do an acid wash later in the week. Do a before and after shot so you can see. See, 1 carat. Huh? 1.5. One carat. One carat. Now those 1 carat ones, when they get cut, will wind up to be about ½ a carat, and most of these are going to need to be heat treated, so I'm not even going to worry about cutting them until after they're heat treated. Now this is just what I found washing that box. See how much? Yep. So, see if I got a penny for reference. This one weighed out at 1 carat. And that's it for today. I'll do another video later in the week and we'll go a little farther. I hope you guys enjoyed. You have a good day. Bye.